I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. I am Tristan Miller, the Kid Cop.
I am Melissa Meli, the Spy.
I am Tyler Riley, Cop and a Half.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/ADCpod and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs, download a free title, and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audible.com/ADCpod. I had one. Oh, right. What I've been recommending for this is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, because it is the season and Poirot does love his Dickens. So there you go. That's what I got. But what are we reviewing today, gang?
Today we are reviewing Murder for Christmas by Francis Duncan, as performed by John Curlis. This is actually technically book 2 in the Mordecai Tremaine series by Francis Duncan.
Yes. Not to be confused with Mordecai, which is a Johnny Depp film that came out in 2014.
No, do not confuse it with that.
Do not.
Or Mordecai, the WWE performer of the early mid-2000s.
Okay, so we each brought a Mordecai. It's it's an elephant exchange with Mordecais. It's fun.
Yeah, of course. How else would you do it? I don't know what I'm saying.
A subtle dunk, but I appreciate it. Put me in my place.
There's a few Mordecai Tremaine books. Number 1 is apparently Murder Has a Motive. This is apparently number 2. So he's called an amateur sleuth in all of the Goodreads recommendations or summaries that I've found.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me,
Yes.
I was trying to think up a new name for Tristan.
Ooh.
Actually, because I was thinking, because we have like those diminutive, because we're amateurs.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what I was thinking was like a semi-sleuth.
A semi-sleuth?
Semi-sleuth? Semi-sleuth, you got the alliteration? All right, we'll keep workshopping it.
I like sleuth, though, as an idea.
Sleuth is good, right? Sleuth is a fun one.
John Wilkes Sleuth. That's all I got.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
I'm into that one.
Oh, no.
I'm a murderer, and I've shot the president. Someone shot the president. Let me just quick detect who. It certainly wasn't me. I wasn't even around. I was in the middle of the play. What are you talking about?
Wasn't.
We have a lot of scene setting and narration in this book. There's a lot made about the moon in this, and like there's a little prologue bit.
May I say something about this? The first, what I would count, 10 chapters of this book.
Sure.
They feel as I have never understood people being and disinterested with John Ronald Reuel Tolkien's work, The Lord of the Rings. Often a complaint is that he focuses too much on things that do not matter to the plot of the story and are confusing as heck. After reading this book, I now understand what they mean. Because for the first 3 chapters, I'm just like, so we're talking about who owned this house 127 years ago. That's how it opens, which is a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot, and maybe we'll get into this later, but one thing I will say for now is that I am wondering if I had just been reading this for leisure and not listening to it. Also, if I had been had a book in my hand and was reading it for leisure and not needing to review it, would I have enjoyed all the scene setting? I wonder that. That is a question I pose.
I also thought of that when I was listening to it, because may I say, just starting off at the beginning of this, I did listen to most of this book at 1.5 speed, because the narrator did take his time with every single word, which is...
That's so smart.
Yeah.
I wish I had done that.
I was just like, hey, so I can't pay attention to this because there's too much space in between the words.
Yeah.
But I think if I had been reading it, it would have translated a little bit better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with your posed question.
Okay.
Like, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Right. And so then also the performer of this, I could not decide At first I was like, oh no, I am not a fan. This is not the guy for me. And then I started also second guessing myself and being like, oh, well, maybe he's fine and I'm just used to other people performing things. And I kept going back and forth. I kept trying to like him.
Which is a good thing to do.
Yeah. When you're in a 9-hour Audible. Yeah, this one's longer. Most of our Agatha Christie books are about 5 hours, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
This one was 9 full hours. Like almost 9 exactly.
Yeah. 9 hours and 40 seconds. I will never forget.
So, Tyler, what did you think about the narrator?
I liked him. Like if he had kept the pace of the ending of the book throughout, he would have been money for me. I liked the choice voice for the different characters.
Yes.
Particularly Mordecai and Nicholas.
Yeah.
And Professor Loring. Yeah, I thought he was fine. I don't know too much about the voice actor's career, but
yeah, that I don't know either.
I'm curious as to what else he's done. But yeah, he was a bit slow, but I enjoyed it. The tone of his voice.
Okay. It got a little plodding for me in the narration. Plodding with D's, not T's. But just to be clear. But when he was doing dialogue, I did really enjoy him.
Yeah. I would say there were also just times, and maybe this is because of outside factors. It was hard to understand him. Okay. Because of his diction and the way, like, he has a very plummy voice, but it sits in the back of his throat a lot. Yeah. So he would talk, and it would sound like there would be like lisps almost occasionally to me, and I was like, what's happening?
I see.
But that's also probably because I have a hard time paying attention to anything, let alone the sentence I'm in the middle of.
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
All right, so getting into it a little bit. Everyone is going to Benedict Graham's house for Christmas. It's a big house, very big house, lots of history. Yeah. Great.
What is known as a historic house.
Indeed. We're in England, by the way, as almost everything we read. Yeah. But it's very, like, Agatha Christie-esque in plot-wise conception style, kind of, like, style. It's definitely just, we're going to a manor. There's a lot of people there. We're in England. Yeah. Someone's been murdered.
A detective that works outside of the police force is our person.
It seems like Francis Duncan, whose real name is William something. I don't know why he works under the alias.
Because he wrote a 9-hour book.
William Randolph Hearst wrote this book.
No, he did not.
Okay. Sometimes you try.
So everyone's going to Benedict Graham's for Christmas, and Roger Winton. The first chapter after the prologue, we get Roger Winton and Dennis Arden, and Roger Winton is in love with Dennis Arden, who is a lady, by the way. Dennis is a lady's name in this case, which I've never heard before, but I like it. It's kind of nice.
It's Dennis with a Y.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess you just read a synopsis or something?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, were you reading along with the...
By the
which
way...
I've considered doing.
Oh, yeah. By the way, every time he said Graham, Benedict Graham, which is the character's name, I thought he was pronouncing Graham really strangely, so I did look that up. And I found out that it's spelled Grame. So, like, okay.
Yeah.
But English folks also do say Graham rather than, like, Heather Graham is how...
That's what I thought.
English and Australian folks sometimes...
Regionally.
Yeah.
Regionally. Okay. Yeah. Anywho, so, yes, Roger is in love with Dennis, but her guardian, Jeremy Rayner, does not want Roger to marry her for some reason. And no one can really figure out why.
He seems to have just like switched his opinion, right?
Yeah, basically. So then we learn about Nicholas Blaze, who is Graham's secretary / companion friend. And he's, facilitating some of the festivities as well. Graham apparently always dresses up as Father Christmas and puts the presents on the tree.
Yes.
Every year. And people, okay. So in this beginning bit, Roger makes all of these remarks about how weird Dennis's family is and all these weird uncles and stuff she has. And I'm like, come on, Roger. Like, can we enjoy some whimsy every once in a while? Like some weird... If we didn't have weird people, what fun would life be?
Well, we certainly wouldn't have this podcast.
It's true.
So...
Anyway, they dunk on weird people a lot.
They do, and then also like the weird, like they consider it strange to do Christmas to the fullest with the tree and decorations and like presents at all, which I'm like, that's an interesting concept coming from an American standpoint.
Okay, no, sorry.
Okay.
These people are doing the most, and I do not appreciate it.
You don't?
This is my nightmare. This is my Christmas nightmare. My nightmare before Christmas.
There it is.
What is the whole...
It's like a grown man dressing up, frolicking about in a full Father Christmas outfit.
For other adults.
Yes. It's just like, what? No. You're grown. Stop it. Knock it off. Have some hot cocoa and sit in the corner.
Now, if it was a gathering and everything and whatnot... well, no. Okay. But, like, if he wasn't dressed...
Is it a problem because it's Santa Claus himself? Or
no.
Okay, but
if he just wasn't dressed up and, was just having lots of people over and put presents on the tree and stuff, then...
Fine. A holiday soiree, if you will. Fine.
Okay.
Delightful, possibly.
So it's the costume we have issue with.
Yeah.
All right.
And there is this weird, even in the beginning of the book, there's this weird level of commitment to the bit that he has. It is strange. It is like, it is weird.
Thank you.
But I also do understand Melissa's point of like, hey, live a little. Live a little.
It's not even necessarily that as much as they're talking about other people.
Sure.
That act weird, not just him.
Sure.
But yeah, at any rate.
That's fair.
But I did also consider, who is he dressing up for? Because he goes down dressed as Father Christmas after everyone has gone to bed.
Yeah.
So no one sees him.
Doing the most.
It's super strange because no one even actually sees him.
Well, actually, we find that he is seen.
Well,
or allegedly seen.
Well, yeah. But, like, ostensibly, the whole plan. Yeah. Okay.
If a Santa falls in the forest and there's no one around to see him.
It didn't actually even happen. No.
Well, ask Rudolph.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So, yes. Also, I had learned a long time ago at some point that it was a tradition at some point to put presents on the tree as opposed to under the tree.
Yes.
And that is absolutely 100% what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking about, what if we did that today? And
an Xbox would not fit on a tree.
I was going to say an Xbox. You read my mind.
And you just tips over? Where's the cat?
I did think about the Xbox as well.
Okay.
But in a manner of, like, is there a way to, like, tie it to the base of the tree?
The trunk is just duct taped.
No, like, up high, like, maybe you could configure it, like, if you just, like...
No!
Okay.
Those are some strong branches, gotta be.
Well, yes, because you put, like, you sit it, like, around mid or upper tree.
Yeah, okay.
But if you anchor it, like, if you tie that bit up there...
And then it swings from the ceiling and it
finish?
hits the burglars.
Let Tyler
not
finish.
Home
My
Alone.
goodness.
A movie I still have never seen.
Let Tyler finish and we'll come back to it.
That is my moment to drop that. Okay, so... Okay, Xbox is upper, middle, tree. Okay, you have a rope. It is tied around the front of the Xbox, going to the back.
Yeah.
Down, tied to one of the lower, stronger branches.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, holding it in place. No wobbling. Boom. Done it, kids.
Cool. I think that could work, but I would want to get the warranty for the Xbox just in case. In case it fell.
You don't have to put it at the up or part of it.
Gotta tell you. Also, it would be confusing for kids because they'd be like, what do you think? Presents don't grow on trees. And they're like, bah.
Oh,
But
man.
don't say that.
I'm giving you a very simple solution to your problem. Just don't speak. You've never seen Home Alone?
Nope.
Do you want to?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
I can respect that.
I did see Home Alone 3, which I heard in retrospect is terrible, but as a kid I thought it
French
was fun.
Stewart's in it, though, and he's fun.
Oh,
No, he's in the fourth one.
Oh.
There's 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one is really good.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
It's
It
a really
holds
fun
up.
film, yeah.
Yeah.
The second one is fine.
I would watch it, but I don't have an inclination to watch it. If it were on, I'd be like, sure, why not?
Why not? Yeah, I was in a bar last year when I was stuck in Savannah because it was snowing. And we just wandered into a bar. Me and my boyfriend, we wandered into a bar that was open because everything else was closed down because it was snowing in Savannah, Georgia. And they had Home Alone on in the bar. And we watched quite a bit of it. And it was really lovely and charming. That's a nice little memory I have. You can cut that if you want.
Okay. It does sound nice, though.
So Nicholas Blaze has called Mordecai Tremaine, who is an amateur detective.
I'm sorry. Again, this is on topic, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you listen to this audiobook, listen at 1.5 speed, and every time they say Mordecai Tremaine, take a shot.
Yeah, just do it.
You will be blind drunk afterward.
Yeah.
The amount of times that is said. You would have thought he was Simon, as in Simon Says. The amount of times as Mordecai Tremaine says.
I would say this while we're in this little nexus of talking about the pros. He chooses to do this consistently with every character, but specifically Mordecai Tremaine, and full name, never just Mordecai.
Yes.
And it is the worst.
Yeah.
And also the reason the book is 9 hours. If you just cut those out, it would be just like a 5-hour novel, I think. Just like 45 minutes of a good mystery.
Oh, yeah. They have Mordecai Tremaine. Blaze asks him to come because he's concerned about someone hurting Graham.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's anyone's Graham.
Okay. So Mordecai's on his way. I'm going to call him Mordecai because I can't do both of the...
You have to say Mordecai.
I really... I'm on a first name basis with everyone.
Morty?
No.
Kai.
That's kind of fun.
Kai. All right. He's on his way to the manor or whatever, and he sees a couple in a tea shop. And
he does.
Yeah, that becomes more important later. So he makes up a story about them in his head, and then he goes on his way to the manor, and he meets this cast of characters. In addition to Roger Winton and Dennis Arden, and of course Benedict Graham and Nicholas Blaze, there's Rosalind Marsh, who's sitting by him at dinner and kind of giving him the lowdown on everybody, who is a talkative young lady. And she runs an art shop, and she says she makes her living off of people who have no taste and lots of money.
That's fun.
Which is fun.
I hope to do the same one day.
Then we have Professor Loring, who is like a curmudgeonly Scrooge type scientist character.
I love him.
That makes sense.
That tracks. A+.
There's the Napiers, who I forget almost everything about.
Well, they're the neighbors, right? Or they live very close by.
Are they? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, let's say yes. All in favor?
Aye.
To a fact.
There is also Lucia Tristram.
Hi.
I know.
That's my name.
I kept hearing Tristan too, but it's Tristram, who is over 30 and past that. Who can tell? She's.
Can I give you my breakdown?
Yeah, sure.
Over 30, hot,
Yeah.
red hair, fun personality, widowed, manhunter.
Yeah,
That's what I have.
I wrote that. Dennis calls her a manhunter.
Also my type.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she sounds awesome. Dennis calls her a manhunter. Apparently, both Jeremy and Benedict are into her, and she hasn't shown a preference for either. And so
I think she's a lesbian.
I actually,
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that
I have
for
proof.
later.
I just thought that she knew, like, she saw them, talked to them, and was like, yeah, no.
That's fair.
Also possible.
Yeah.
But I had a theory for a little while that proved to be, I guess, not correct based on the book. But so then there's also Charlotte Graham, Benedict's sister, who is, I wrote older, because they talk about her being an old maid all the time, which means that she's, over 20. I wrote down a character named Austin Delamere.
Yes.
I don't remember anything about him either.
Well,
Which one's this one?
Austin is where my notes begin.
Oh,
thank
good.
goodness, because I have no recollection
I
of
have
him.
one note about Charlotte Graham before we continue.
Oh,
Okay.
She was maybe in Camford because he shows up and was like, "You were in Camford, right? Because I just saw you in that tea shop."
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, "No."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe not.
So maybe not exactly.
So but the way it's presented, so what happens is he's like, "Oh, hey, I saw you at the tea shop earlier. You didn't see me. It must have been you." Look, and she says, "No, absolutely not. Oh my gosh, no, God, couldn't have been me. Lucia, could you tell him I was with you the whole time?" And Lucia actually does cover for her. So obviously she was in the tea shop because she was being really sketchy. And she was with a man who was not there.
So Austin Delamere arrives. As he was delayed and apologizes to the host, he says he may have to work while there and may not be the most social. Mordecai
Relatable,
just
honestly.
so happens to be in the area when Delamere walks through the door. Delamere remarks that it's nice to take a break from politics for the holiday.
Oh, right, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And he is rumored to do unsavory things in order to climb the government ladder. But it's not proven.
Like by that one woman's art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delamere was a regular member of the Christmas party, because this is an annual event.
Yeah.
Mordecai is the only newcomer, yes?
Two.
No.
Loring?
Lauren.
Yeah.
Professor Loring also is new. Yeah. We got a nice little scene with the two of them.
Also from Jump.
Yeah.
Like, I get why Mordecai is there. Sorry, why Mordecai Tremaine is there. But, like, from Jump, he is just in everybody's business. Like, no chill whatsoever. Just up in the Kool-Aid, like, just not caring what the flavor is. Like, he's just in it. And I'm just like, dude, no one knows who you are. No one has any reason to trust you. Why are they just going to start spilling their secrets? Calm down.
Yeah, I guess.
But he can't calm down because we have 9 hours to go.
Well, at this point, like 8.
Well,
Oh no.
8:20.
What is it?
What? So, Delamere is a regular at the party, and Mordecai then believes him to be part of or knowledgeable about the intrigue surrounding the events.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And when does he arrive? Does he arrive like on Christmas Eve day? Is that when
Yes.
Austin Delamere arrives?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. Because in the morning, Dennis shows Mordecai around, And she tells Mordecai the story about Roger and why, or she doesn't know why, but that her guardian, Jeremy Rayner, does not like Roger, and also tells him a bit about the house. It was last owned by a family called the Latimers.
Yes.
And also, at some point, Queen Elizabeth slept in this house.
Yeah, for like a week or something.
And a woman who was forbidden to marry her fiancé jumped out of her window and committed suicide.
Yeah.
In one of the rooms.
What's kind of interesting about the Lorimers, the last guy...
The Latimers?
The Latimers, sorry.
That's okay.
The Latimer, the guy that, the last one that owned it, used to, like, he couldn't afford to keep up the house, so he would just, like, camp out on the grounds, but, like, was like, I don't want to, my family's namesake, and then he was finally forced to sell it.
Right.
And it was shameful and embarrassing.
Yes.
As it would be, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Much like Agatha Christie's Poirot television episode where the father kidnaps his own kid.
Yeah, it reminded me. Yep.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that too.
Yeesh.
All right. Yes. Anyway, I just wanted to
that's
get that in there. So yes, we have met Austin Delamere now, and then
he goes in, Mordecai Tremaine goes into the library where he overhears George Beachley on a telephone call having a very stern conversation, remarking,
"No, I'm not gonna go on the show, Howard. I'm not going to go on this show." Howard Stern? Okay, moving on.
I'll get...
Having a very stern conversation.
And then Howard Stern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to have fun. Some people don't. I get that, but it is part of my oeuvre and brand as an artist to have fun with words specifically.
Speaking of words, I'll see you get the money. He's good for that much, is what Mordecai Tremaine overhears Beachley saying on the phone.
Right.
Mordecai Tremaine clears his throat. Thank you. And Beachley's like, "Oh, you caught me at a bad time." Mordecai Tremaine's like, yeah, sure. Like, I didn't think anybody was here.
Yeah.
Do you, dude? And then Beachley's like, "Oh, you don't understand. A friend called to ask for money, and I decided to give my friend a piece of my mind as well."
Oh, yeah. This whole thing.
And then Mordecai Tremaine is just like, "Okay, peace."
There's so many characters in this.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I combined George Beachley and Professor Loring in my brain at some point.
Well, he's who we meet next.
Great.
So, Professor Ernest Loring is sat reading the Financial Times. Mordecai Tremaine starts to have a conversation with him, and Loring shuts him down.
Oh, right, I remember.
The quickness.
Yeah.
I love it. We find that this is Loring's first time at the Christmas party.
Yes.
Mordecai Tremaine cannot take the hint and continues to piss off Loring.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
I say, do you think he did find him very alluring?
Oh. See, that one, we got that one.
Yeah.
So then Loring, realizing that, I should calm down a little bit. He apologizes and says that the thought of rowdy young people or old people playing young puts him on edge. Loring is mood.
I mean, he ain't wrong. You are right. It is weird, but it also is like, don't be so judgy. On one hand, don't be so judgy, but on the other hand, you are right to judge.
So Rosalind Marsh and Beachley are smoking.
Yeah, they're just so attractive. Continue.
And they discuss the evening's upcoming dinner, saying the Napiers will return yet again. It is then that Beachley is thought to be mad by the people in town. Rosalind recounts that there are many rumors about Beachley and his various curmudgeonly and practical, jokey behavior about town. And then we get this really uncomfortable and odd imagery of Beachley wanting to snap Rosalind's neck.
Oh, right, yeah.
It gets very graphic out of nowhere. All because Rosalind is just, like, recounting this and, like, saying things, like, to have a laugh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant at all.
Throughout the evening, Mordecai comes across the same collection of characters over and over.
Yeah, there's just so much of,
Getting slowly past the superficial. Not much.
Yeah. Has Edmund died yet?
No.
Hey, here's the thing.
We still have 8 more chapters to go.
Can I say?
No.
The murder occurs about 2/3 of the way through the book.
Yep.
And it doesn't start picking up immediately after. Like, something interesting has happened, but it doesn't, like, pick up that much. But that first 2/3 is just a slog.
It's too much exposition. It is too
much exposition. It's different.
Which is totally.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of something that rhymes with exposition though. Extradition.
I just thought getting to know you from The King and I. That's all that. Yeah. As the evening progresses, Mordecai Tremaine wanders about the house and visits the tree. Under the lights of the tree, Mordecai Tremaine is enraptured by the spectacle.
Yeah.
It's a
Much
good tree.
like the others throughout the evening as well. Everyone seems to go up and regard the tree at some point.
They're all horny for
Not really
that tree.
taking in the spectacle of it, but seem oddly connected to it in a way.
I see. Okay. I do love a good Christmas tree.
I do too. A bad Christmas tree, however.
I still like a bad Christmas tree.
Charlie
Well,
Brown.
what is a bad Christmas tree?
One that is in your home at Easter.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind.
That's also bad luck.
Yeah, a tree past New Year's or past the week after New Year's, that's a bad tree.
My goodness.
Do you host a tree past with your friends and family?
Very good. I love Christmas season. I think I might even love Christmas season more than Christmas itself.
Yes, the month of December leading up to Christmas is the best time of the year. Once Christmas happens, it's fine. Whatever.
I enjoy lights. I enjoy twinkly lights so much. So very, very much. I just want twinkly lights all the time. That is where I stand.
You can do that. You can do that. I have fairy lights in my room.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that.
It's very fun. It's very festive. Also, it's like good for when you're about to go to bed and you want to get used to the idea of it being black.
Dark, yeah. All right. All in favor of lights? Aye.
Overruled. 2 against
Don't
1.
care.
Fortunately, none of us live together.
Another quick personal question for both of you.
Sure.
Tyler, in the scenario, you enjoy lights.
Imagine
you enjoyed seeing. Do you prefer the like the colored kind of lights, like the red and the green kind of lights, or the pale luminescence of a either cream or an off-white or an LED light? What kind of light do you play with?
Pale, non-twinkling, sterile light.
I can dig it.
I like both.
Okay.
In fact, I have a friend who has her tree is they have a fake tree, and it's pre-lit with white lights, and they add the multicolored lights.
Oh, that's fun.
It's great. I like string lights better than laser lights. Yes. However, if you're going to do both, that's also fine with me because I like the most lights.
The most amount of light.
The most light.
I do like the phrase pre-lit. Like, you ever like hosting a party and like before the guests arrive, like, oh my god, this party is already pre-lit.
I had the same thought. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I like that. That's very good.
That's very good.
But my current situation is I have white lights on my tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like white lights for ambiance. For just all year round.
Yeah.
I like the multicolored lights for the tree itself.
All right.
That's what I enjoy. For like to denote like this is the holiday lights.
The next morning, the house is awoken by screams.
Oh boy. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry for what just happened in your ears.
That sounds like Grames to me, says Beachley.
Oh, gosh.
Everyone runs downstairs. Or a lot of people run downstairs.
But in like this weird way, like
Yeah.
Mordecai Tremaine just happens to come across like people one by one instead of just going to the source of the screams. Like nobody is that concerned that they're running towards it. Everyone's just like, oh my gosh, did you hear that? Yeah, sounds like something awful happened.
It sounds like the Xbox dropped.
You.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
like,
very...
It takes forever for them to get there.
Yeah.
It's like, remember that Eddie Murphy bit?
Maybe.
Where, like, his aunt is, like, falling down the stairs.
Oh.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a graduation, like just calling the names one by one.
Yeah. It's super strange.
Oh, boy.
Silly book.
So what do
So
we...
3 chapters later, we finally get
The source of this craving.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, my gosh, sorry, even before that.
Oh, no.
Mordecai Tremaine informs Beachley that no, it's not Benedict Grames because it was a woman's scream.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So they're downstairs now, yay! They discover...
Yay, a body!
Huzzah! A corpse!
Is that not how you would enter a crime scene?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, this is dope. Let's take a quick selfie with the deceased.
Yo, this murder was pre-lit. Like, it was lit.
You should have seen it.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Who's dead? Who's dead? Who's dead?
It must be Jared. No, it must. Oh God, who was it?
Everyone's. Well, it's someone dressed like Father Christmas.
So everyone's like, oh gosh.
It must be
Grames.
Oh no!
no.
Oh gosh, terrible.
Oh no.
The person who is screaming, by the way, is Charlotte Graham.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the body is underneath the Christmas tree. No sign of weapons.
Xbox on
Underneath
top of the head.
He was killed by the Xbox falling on his head.
Can I say that might be more interesting than this book?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
Everyone who would find that more interesting than this book.
I
thought this was important at the time.
I want to hear the note.
Yeah.
The floorboards carried moisture from the French doors to the tree.
Oh, man.
Oh, right.
That super wasn't important, was it?
It kind of is.
Oh, okay.
Because I've realized why but it's not super important. Yeah. It's like just a detail thrown in. It feels like, who wrote this? Faulkner?
There's more than one William.
Francis Duncan.
Francis Duncan feels like, this series kind of feels like they've clearly read a lot of murder mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's all this detail that, like, Sherlock noticed, and it's clearly, like, Agatha Christie inspired, but, like, the two things together, without the justification of the plot needing it, just make it fall flat consistently, and it's very frustrating. But...
Yeah. Anywho...
Loring eventually arrives and bemoans being woken up by the people in the house.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Delamere was also the first to speak, inquiring whether they should call for a doctor.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's dead.
You're dumb.
He's dead?
I don't know what good a doctor's gonna do with this dead person.
Yeah. Mordecai then goes through all the guests in the house and how they could all be suspects in his mind. When the suggestion to call the police finally arises from the group, Nicholas arrives all late and wrong. Immediately believing it to be Grames as well.
Yep.
He says to Mordecai Tremaine before anything else,
I need to find...
Yes, that he needs to find...
The murderer. The murderer of Benedict Graham.
Yeah.
He's very specific about that point.
And then he relents on how he wished to prevent it, but he was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Blaze, right?
Blaze.
Yeah.
420, Nicholas Blaze.
Okay.
Nicholas Blaze 420, pre-lit.
Yeah.
He's going on tour, everybody.
All right.
It is then at some point discovered that it's Jeremy Rayner, not Grames, who is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And dressed as Father Christmas.
Right.
Apropos of nothing but the holiday.
Charlotte is extremely distraught by finding out that it is Jeremy who is indeed dead.
Yeah.
Roger is then questioned. He arrives, and there's like a mark on his cheek, blood on his face, and he's missing a button.
Yeah, and so Roger wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Because he, Jeremy didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
But they were, up until very recently, good friends, right?
Yes.
They were like best buds.
Right.
And they're like, what is it?
Why don't you like him anymore? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So Roger said he was attacked by a mysterious stranger. Beachley questions Roger accusatorily as to how Roger could strike the mystery man but not see him clearly. Blaze doesn't trust anyone at this point and questions whether the interaction actually happened.
Yep.
Benedict Grames is finally told of the crime.
Yeah, what happened?
And calls it nonsense as he has his full Father Christmas regalia.
I'm in it right now. I slept in it.
Yeah, apparently he had already been down to the tree and put on all of the presents.
Yeah.
So why Jeremy Rayner was down there dressed as Father Christmas is
a bigger mystery.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melissa.
That is okay. And why? And they have two. It's so strange.
It's so bizarre.
It's so strange.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets even more bizarre.
It does.
Mordecai asks if Rayner was tasked with taking on the role of Father Christmas this year. Grames is furious and replies, "Of course not." Everyone seems to be annoyed that the police has been called.
Can I be honest? Peak whiteness.
Yeah.
She's like, oh gosh, I have to speak to an officer?
Mm-hmm.
Well. Go ahead.
Sorry. That's peak blackness, like not wanting to deal with the police. Like,
oh, sure,
like
sure. I understand. For different
For
reasons.
different reasons.
Yeah.
I feel like being annoyed with the police specifically, maybe.
Maybe this is the issue where white people and black people can come together.
Who wants to deal with the police?
Make that a Starbucks conversation.
Please.
So then they started a war on Christmas.
With their red holiday cups. Without, Christmas decorations on them.
Yeah. It's time to put the Christ back in Christmas.
Mm-hmm. I once said, it's time to put the Jesus back in Christmas.
That's very funny. Oh boy.
I like to have fun. Okay.
We then discover that the tree is now bare and the bracket with Jeremy's name is now empty.
Nearly an Xbox on this branch. I'm gonna milk that for all it's worth. Thank you.
So I guess they put letters on the tree.
I put
presents.
letters, with brackets.
Yeah. Time passes. The police arrive.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately take over the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
The guests have now been barred from the room, but Mordecai is allowed to stay, but only to observe at a distance.
Yeah, because the chief inspector is like, I remember you. You helped solve a murder a bit ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mordecai Tremaine and the superintendent are seemingly at odds during at some point Mordecai Tremaine rubs him the wrong way a bit.
Can't imagine why.
Ugh, he probably.
It's also one of these things as well. he's like, he's constantly, it's reiterated at least 17 times that like, oh, the chief inspector doesn't want an amateur and get that back to his boss because he get in trouble. And like, it's like, well, then just don't help him.
Right.
Yeah.
You just fine. It's cool. He's just nosy. He's not a detective. He's just up in everyone's business. And up with that, I will not put.
Go home, Roger. So the superintendent asks for Mordecai's recollection of the events following the discovery of the body. He tells him everything, minus his own notes from the investigation that he's doing himself.
Yeah.
The superintendent and Mordecai share a mutual acquaintance or something. And this seems to assuage the superintendent.
Yeah, he knows like people that work at the same agency as the same. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
He then yells at Mordecai Tremaine that...
I love that you sound like the adults in Peanuts. Yeah.
To get Mordecai Tremaine to get the others to open up.
That was so dumb, Tristan.
So he starts with Charlotte Graham's. Said that she had a headache, couldn't sleep, and came downstairs with a light where she thought she had heard the noises. He tells the superintendent that he does not believe that he believes Mrs. Graham's to be lying, as she was fully dressed for the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Have like this weird like conversation about her countenance and how she seemed frightened rather than shocked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very suspicious.
Mm-hmm. And that's it?
Take it away, T-Bone.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to wrap this up real quick because I have a stand-up show to go to. Basically what happens is he conducts an investigation, finds out some information. And basically, he finds out that most people got their hands a little dirty at this party. Like one guy was selling blood diamonds, I guess, from South Africa, which is fascinating to think about in this time period, but also a real thing.
Yeah.
Someone else, like I think the politician obviously has a bunch of weird dirt on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
who was the person that bought another Father Christmas outfit?
Beachley.
Okay. What was he doing with that? I totally forget.
Because also
he wanted to sneak around to get a peek at his letter or like someone's letter on the tree.
On the tree.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because also there's a necklace that is missing.
Right. It was a necklace that Jeremy was going to give to Dennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's also missing. So at some point that gets stolen. But over the course, with the help of Nicholas Blaze, Mordecai Tremaine slowly discovers all this. Then he slowly...
Yeah, everyone acts real sketchy.
Yeah, and they're just very evasive, and it's like clear that like there's something strange going on in general.
Yeah.
Many interviews happen.
Yes. At one point there were carol singers. The night
that's
before,
right.
which is important, unfortunately. Did remind me of Love Actually, which was fun.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too.
They were there for so long.
So long. They sang like all of Handel's Messiah. They sang. And they were there, and they go and interview the vicar that was leading the carolers around.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he just like can't handle the situation. And basically what it comes down to is Mordecai Tremaine is like, well, how many people did you have? Was there 13 or 14? How many people? And he's like, I can't remember, because one person counts 13. The butler counts 13 carolers. Okay,
that's right.
And Mordecai counted 14 carolers.
Yeah.
So one went missing. So maybe that's up. Ooh, intrigue and mystery.
Yeah.
Ooh. But they go around the town and talk to people, and all with Nicholas Blaze, who he trusts implicitly because he is the one that sent for him, and thus would assume that like he wanted help because he saw something like this coming, which is like weird. Also,
yeah, but he, Nicholas Blaze thought that it was going to be Graham that was killed. Mm-hmm. Like that's the reason why he called Mordecai to try and, prevent his death, not Jeremy. At any rate, there's a lot of shady goings on, and everyone seems to have something happening.
Yeah.
And we do find out that Charlotte Graham has been around with a gentleman.
Ooh, yes.
The one that, of course, Mordecai saw her with at the tea shop. Mordecai spends a lot of time trying to talk about, succeeding in talking about the fact that he finds it curious that Charlotte never married.
Right.
And that's the point when I was going, oh, it's because she and Lucia they're lesbians.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I thought that was heavenly and heavily implied.
Heavily implied. I was yelling at my Audible. I was like, because she's a lesbian. Because she is a lesbian.
No, they're very good friends and roommates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're gay, you fools.
No, I really don't think that's it.
I mean...
Okay, Tyler.
We do find out she's engaged to a man, and that was the reason. I know, it's so disappointing. Honestly, like, can't we have some lesbians in this book?
Not in the 1800s.
Not in the 1800s.
Not according to Saoirse Ronan and Kate Winslet. Do you not hear about this movie they're both in?
That film is a lie.
What?
They're coming out with a movie with Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan where they play lovers in the 1800s. So anyway, they wander around the town. They conduct interviews. They find out some stuff. Everyone has fingies and pies. And on that note, I'm
please never say fingies again.
Let's take a little break. We'll come back with the murderer.
Nectar makes the most comfortable mattress available and sells the nectar directly to you, cutting out middlemen and markups. You enjoy the best mattress at a much better price. Nectar is designed for every type of sleeper and arrives backed by our full comfort guarantee and forever warranty, plus a full year sleep trial so you can make sure Nectar is right for you at no risk. Nectar arrives straight to your door. If you like, we can set up your Nectar and remove your old mattress. Thousands of Nectar customers and over 20 mattress review sites think Nectar is the most comfortable mattress you can purchase. And if you don't agree, we'll take Nectar back and refund your full purchase. Nectar provides you with a full year, 365 nights to enjoy Nectar and figure out if Nectar is right for you. If you decide for any reason that Nectar is not your ideal mattress, we'll remove the mattress from your home and refund your payment 100%. Our risk-free trial is 3 times longer than any other that we have seen. Fewer than 3% of Nectar sleepers return their Nectar. And now our listeners can take $100 off the purchase of their mattress. Just go to bit.ly/scavsleep. That's bit.ly/scavsleep. No wonder everybody wants a Nectar Sleep mattress.
And we're back.
Oh boy.
The murderer was... me.
Tristan killed the book.
I killed the book. I deleted it from my account. No, what I did do is I did listen to it as I fell asleep last night, hoping that some more information would get retained.
That puts you to sleep a lot quicker, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that.
I gotta say, I might start doing that moving forward and trying to remember where I'm at in the book the next morning where I fell asleep and tried, but just because, like, I gotta push through these things.
Well, you have a dream about murder that does not go well. I've been in these streets before.
Okay, turns out everybody was being blackmailed.
Right.
By
Benedict Graham.
Yes, by Graham. Which makes sense because he calls the party once a year, obviously, because it's a Christmas party. They get orders from him to do shameful, weird acts because he's a perverse, weird man, which, by the way, explains why he's dressed up as Father Christmas, because he's into it and it is weird and a pervert. Yeah. Like, I do not enjoy this man much at all.
No. And so here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention earlier that the murder weapon, the gun, was discovered in Jeremy Rayner's room, which is unimaginable.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, so wait, let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Jeremy Rayner was killed, and then the murder weapon is in his room. So it's definitely not a suicide, because it would be super strange if someone shot themselves, put the gun in their own room, and then went down to the Christmas tree to die. Like,
This will show them.
This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing.
So basically what occurs is they found out that the gun was rigged to shoot after one of the envelopes had been moved.
When the Xbox moves.
Yes, when the
Oh, the Xbox.
son of a gun, you got me!
Yeah. Right.
When they go open, shake the present to see what's up inside. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
To check on, because there's this weird ritual that he does where he writes everyone a letter with their orders for the embarrassing thing that they have to do and the dirt he has on everybody.
Yeah.
And so presumably, Jeremy Rayner was looking at his letter, which was up on the highest.
Yeah.
And he tugged it, and then he got shot.
So Jeremy Rayner was not the target.
Not the intended victim, no.
Right.
Exactly. Who was then? Oh, who for sure is going to interact with the envelopes? Benedict Graham.
Right.
So who?
The blackmailer was, of course,
So they all
target.
have motive.
Sure.
So it's very confusing for exactly a paragraph before.
However, we find out all of the reasons why these other people, though had motive, could not possibly have done it.
Yeah, didn't have means or opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Charlotte Graham was planning on running away with her lover.
Yes.
Who is not a woman, sadly. And that is who she was meeting at the tea shop, and that's and that's why she was fully dressed.
Yes.
When she was screaming at the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and to warn the person.
She was screaming loudly to warn away her lover. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, boy, get out of here, because we cannot.
Not today.
Not tonight. This isn't gonna work tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the mystery of the missing carol singer, I'm going to address that before we get that. Basically, the guy who used to own the building snuck into his old house just to take a quick peek and, like, also presumably, I think, murder someone as well, or no?
I don't remember. I think he was just
like missing his old home.
Yeah, he just
kinda
wanted to go
around.
Yeah,
which is a bummer.
It's so sad.
Mm-hmm. And
That's so sad.
He was hiding in a priest hole. We talked about priest holes here a couple of weeks back.
Yeah,
where you would hide a priest when they were getting killed during Church of England times.
Yeah,
and he was hiding one of those for like 3 days.
Yeah,
sneaking around, just trying to avoid being seen. And so, like, oh, so he was the murderer, right? No, turns out it was Nicholas Blaze.
The whole time.
Because he knew about the blackmail and was like, oh, what a fiend. I'm going to kill that guy.
Though this recounting, like, when our narrator is, like, as Nicholas Tremaine going through all of this, I was like, ooh, I might start writing some prison letters. Like, I was good.
Nicholas Blaze kind of.
That's the one.
All right.
Imagine James McAvoy as Nicholas Blaze.
Oh, that runs out.
Really? No. You don't like Jimmy?
Not for me.
Okay. What about Peter Capaldi?
I don't know who that is.
What about Craig Ferguson?
All right, you know.
All right, that's fine. I'm trying to think of another Ewan
Scottish
McGregor.
People.
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
That's good.
Do.
Okay, with a big mustache. The biggest mustache he's ever had.
Why? Gotta ruin it with mustaches.
I'm just so horny for a mustache.
I am so not.
Okay, so it was Nicholas Blaze the whole time. And, what is his name? Tremaine?
Mm-hmm. The detective, the main character,
Mordecai Tremaine.
How could you forget?
So Mordecai Tremaine basically confronts Nicholas Blaze, and Nicholas Blaze is like, shucks, he got me.
Yeah.
But this is why I did it, because he was a bad man. Because he was a bad man.
Is that why?
You're a
because
bad boy, Nicholas.
What I thought... Oh my. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to walk in on that moment. What I thought was that he was going to take over the blackmail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he does say, like, oh, he's a bad man, but
I need
money.
That is true.
And instead of having them do, like, pervert stuff, I'm gonna have them pay me, because that'll be better, because they at least know where they stand with me at all times.
Yes, that's right.
That is true.
Exactly.
Oh gosh.
So they're in the room where the woman had killed herself.
Yeah.
In previous owners of the house.
Yeah, and he's literally about to strangle Mordecai Tremaine. And then Mordecai Tremaine is like, you didn't think I was foolish enough to show up by myself. And then the police show up.
Yeah.
I thought the lights turned off.
Both.
He has a clapper.
Yep. I hardly know her.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was gross. So, they're like, we gotcha. We gotcha. And he's like, I'm not going to go out this. And he pulls out the gun. And then he gets very close to the edge. And they're like, don't do it, don't shoot. And he throws the gun at him. Like, there's no bullets in it anyways. Like, everyone's like, that seems needless. And then he jumps.
And that's the end of the book.
And that's the literal end of the book. It just ends there.
Yep.
So, what did you guys think of the book?
I've been wrestling with this. Trying to figure out if it was the way I read it that made me not like it. Or the fact that, you
didn't like it? Was the reason you didn't like it?
Yeah. And the more we talk about it,
I
think I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I wanted to so much.
Yeah. Because I love the holidays. I love a murder mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
Two great tastes that apparently don't go great together.
Well, not in this case anyway.
Not in this case.
Next year, hopefully, we will time it out right so that we will read, what is it? Poirot's Christmas.
Yeah.
There's a few Poirot mysteries that have Christmas in the title, and they all sound really similar. But there is a novel that, if we plan this right, we'll be reading next year at this time. And I hope that's better than this.
Yeah. And what I will say as well is I think a huge part of this is that I have grown so accustomed to Hercule Poirot as a detective and as a character and as the temperament. Okay. I do not enjoy Mordecai Tremaine as a character. I do not find him interesting or appealing, which made the entire endeavor very difficult.
I didn't dislike him as much as you all did. I found him... They kept talking about how sentimental and romantic he was, and that endears me to people.
May I say, though, they talked about it, but we never see it.
I guess.
We did not start, to Mordecai Tremaine's credit, with his first book, though.
That is true.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And I think the prose is sloppy, and I think that it is too long. I think there's too much exposition. I think the murder is also not very interesting.
Are we rating this?
Yes,
we
are.
So what scale?
Out of 10 for novels.
For novels, yeah.
But like mustaches still.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Santa
suits? Sorry.
Santa beards.
Santa beards. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa beards.
Santa beards.
Keep the facial hair theme.
Beard, get rid of it when you're not around. I don't know.
All right.
Get rid of it when you're not around. So you have to be not near it to get rid of it. Okay. Jeopardy style question. Or a riddle. What do you have to get rid of when you're not around it?
What is a centipede?
You got me! Okay, how many centimeters do you give this son of a gun? Tyler, go.
One charred... Sorry. One charred Santa beard. It was so long.
Farewell.
So like I don't mind long, but like at least be good and okay.
I saw what just happened.
At least be interesting if you're going to take up my... I need Maxine Waters to just, with the gavel, reclaiming my time. Halfway through this book. It should have started at chapter 10.
Yeah, basically.
I don't care who owned the house.
Because it's not even like he's creating, like with Tolkien, with that anthology, he's creating a whole different world that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, it's just England in the 1800s.
It's like, yeah, we know. We get it. We've been there before. Yeah.
Melissa.
But I love Loring, and that's why it doesn't get 0 beards.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 4. Yeah.
Okay.
There were occasional moments that were not terrible. And I enjoyed some of the cultural references that were made.
Mm-hmm. Like being annoyed by the police.
Sure. I enjoyed Dennis as a character very much.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her.
I like Lucia as well.
I like Lucia a lot as well.
I love a redhead.
Yeah. I thought I was going to really like that Lucia and Charlotte were a couple, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Still, though.
Frances McDormand, or whatever your name is, who wrote this book.
Don't drag Frances McDormand for no reason. Francis Duncan.
And we're dunking on him.
Yes.
There we go.
All right.
So 4.
So 4.
I give it a 1.
Okay.
Because it did end. The only way this book could be worse is if it was...
if we were still living... and Tristan broke Tyler. All right.
He's so right. Bad book.
So
okay.
Now we have to go repair Tyler so that he can podcast with us the next time.
Mm-hmm. And I have to go cleanse my ear holes from this nonsense. All right. I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to adjournment.
Happy New Year!
Oh, yeah, Happy New Year. Oh, guys, we can't.
What?
Okay.
What?
10, 9,
8,
7, 6,
5,
4,
3,
2, 1.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What?